Hello, Brigadiers and Brigadettes and hockey fans alike. This is your captain speaking. Welcome to my channel. Now let's jump into some hockey content. Hello everybody, we're going to be jumping on into this video today. We're going to be covering the Ottawa Senators. Now I did want to say I apologize for the big voice crack yesterday at the end of yesterday's video. My allergies have been bothering me big time, my nose is stuffed up. But no rest for the wicked, Cage the Elephant, if you've heard that song. You know it's a good band. Now, obviously, not a big deal, but I made it a big deal. I think it just kind of stinks because if you have a deeper voice, it's a lot more noticeable. But with that being said, we're going to move on. It's literally no big deal. I just think sometimes I kick myself when I do stuff like that or mess up a name in a video. But we're going to move on from it. Now, question number one for the Senators is, what's there to be excited about? Is there anything to be excited about? Well, the past 3 years have been pretty miserable for Senators fans, and they've been one of the worst teams in the league over that time. It's been frustrating, I'm not going to lie, for Senators fans. It has been rough, and I can understand why team support has been suffering due to the product on the ice and the ownership situation with Eugene Melnyk. But there are some positives to look forward to this season if you're a Senators fan. So, to start off, the first is that you get to watch shiny Tim Stützle, from what I've heard at the World Juniors, play this season. The third overall pick in the draft has really impressed me, and when I've watched him for the World Juniors, I notice him. And I think as long as the Senators don't throw him to the Wolves and put him in a bad position, he should be set up nicely to have a very good career. He also just recently signed his 3-year entry-level deal, so that's always nice to get done and over with. Then you have Josh Norris. He should get some serious minutes this season. Norris was part of that big Erik Karlsson trade, and looks like he could be a building block for the Senators up the middle in the long-term future. He should probably be their first-line center this year. He played only 3 games last year, but even though I'm not a coach, I do think he's probably one of, if not their best center on the team. So I'm excited to see how he does alongside Brady Tkachuk next season. Speaking of Brady Tkachuk, he's exactly what the franchise needs. He's a strong net front presence, and he brings a level of grit and attitude to this team, a no-nonsense attitude that I think the team really needs more of, if I'm being completely honest. And then also, he looks like he could be the next team captain, so that's pretty cool to have a captain. Then you have Drake Batherson. He could be a mainstay for this team in the future. He had 10 points in 23 games played last year, and he provides a physical game, as he had 51 hits in 23 games played last year. I think he could be, a great guy for the Senators, could provide that, and maybe some scoring. Finally, even though there were plenty of things to talk about with this team that they've got pieces, the 2017 first-round pick, Erik Brannstrom, looks like he could be pretty good if he makes the roster. So hopefully he could, be a piece of this blue line that could adapt and be better and help them desperately with what they need. Also, I think I figured out these little notches on the sides can tighten the mic, so I'm hoping that we won't have any issues with it falling over. We tightened it up, so hopefully it stays in place because we've had some issues lately. And now the second question is, can Murray rebound in Ottawa? I think right off the drop of the puck, I'm going to say that until this blue line improves, Murray won't resemble the goalie that won Pittsburgh 2 cups. I think the goaltending situation will be better than last year, but this team needs to improve in a lot of categories because defensively they're one of the worst teams in the league. Last year they were 2nd worst for shots against, 5th worst for scoring chances against, and 7th worst for high danger chances against. Honestly, as bad as it sounds, I think Murray going somewhere like Minnesota would have been better for him, but I do hope that he proves me wrong and shows me that he's up to the challenge and he can be a franchise goalie and a guy that's good enough. At one point he was able to kick out Marc-Andre Fleury out of Pittsburgh because he looked like he was that promising and that good. Again, with the way this team looks up front and on the blue line, I just think they're a defensive liability and they aren't really helping out their goalies at all. So, especially for this year, I could see a lot of games where Murray is left out to dry just because of, some issues and lack of depth that they have on this team because they're still bad. But, even if they do bring in their young guys, a lot of these guys, they're young. They're going to make mistakes. They're going to turn over the puck. They're young. They're going to be getting playing time. Mistakes will be made, and they will be made often, which is all right. It's a learning process, but I just don't think Murray's numbers are going to be helped out by that. Also, they might want to get up another backup goalie this year, especially if they want to be competitive, which personally I really don't think they do. But as of right now, Anders Nielsen is going to be their backup. And nothing against Anders Nielsen, but that's just not going to work, especially going into the next few years when they want to be competitive. If he's their backup, they're going to have some issues getting a playoff spot. Now, the third and final question, will any of their additions pay off from this season? I do think two that could pay off would be Matt Murray and Alex Galchenyuk. We already talked about Murray and how I think that with the team not exactly being super competitive, he might not have a very good year. But, most people wouldn't, if I'm being honest. If you put most goalies, even some of the top 10 goalies, into this situation where it's a pretty bad team in Ottawa still, even though they're, getting talent, I think that they wouldn't be able to turn it around and be, a playoff team, even with one of, let's say Andrei Vasilevsky. I think he would still, struggle. He would put up better numbers, but, I think even he would still struggle. Or like a Connor Hellebuck, they would still struggle. But, it would be better, but again, struggle. But I think that if you put a competent team around Murray, I think especially by the third and fourth year of his contract, it will show whether or not he can be Ottawa's goalie of the future. If the Senators have a lot of their prospects playing in the NHL by then, which they should, we'll see though, I guess. But again, if they are able to, get these guys out here, improve the blue line, get better defensively, Murray, we can see what he's really worth. And now for Alex Galchenyuk, they got him on a cheap deal, and I think him being in Ottawa could take some of the pressure off of him, and he'll be able to show everyone what he's capable of, because there was a 4-year stretch where Alex Galchenyuk scored 86 goals in that time. That comes out to about 22 goals per season. He's got a 30-goal season underneath his belt. I do think that he'll probably never score over 30 goals in a season, or I don't think he'll score 30 goals in a season again. But if he could find a home in Ottawa, he could get his groove back. 15 to 20 goals a season wouldn't be impossible. That could become a norm, and then he could be a nice depth piece for the Senators when they have their core in place. That's the thing with this core. If they can make him like a third-line guy or something like that, maybe he could provide 15 to 20 goals. He wouldn't have the pressure of being a franchise guy, and he could just be a guy that's, go out there, Alex, and score for us. I don't know. We'll see how it goes, but I think those two really could pay off if this team gets competitive and, their guys really do pan out. It does depend on depth and them panning out. This is a team that's probably not going to spend a lot of money, so this core is going to have to really all click in order for them to be a competitive contender like we've talked about for the past few years. That is going to be my preview for the Ottawa Senators. I'm glad that this mic is not falling over anymore, and hopefully for the long-term future, Again, everybody stay safe from COVID. Have a great day. I will see you very soon. We're just going to keep churning out these videos before January 13th. Have a great night. Goodbye, Brigadiers and Brigadettes, and hockey fans in general. This is your captain signing off. Have a great week.